Morning, everybody. It's 11:30 and it's hump day with Helena, and it is Rugelach Day. So today we are going to be making pastries. We're going to have lots of fun. It's going to be so delicious. So I hope everyone's washed their hands in hot soapy water, so we're ready to go. We're going to learn a little bit about measuring today, which is super important. This dough is very easy to make, and you're going to have lots of fun. You can put all sorts of different types of fillings in here. So let's start off with baking and what you're going to need to learn how to bake. So here's some tools that you'll need. And I want to make sure that you have these on hand. Really important that you use the right tool for the right job. So this one here is a glass measuring cup for liquids. These ones here are metal measuring cups. You can use plastic ones as well, or solids. It makes a big difference when you're measuring. So liquid, solids. Then I have measuring spoons. The two most commonly used measuring spoons are a teaspoon and a tablespoon. Even adults get this mixed up. So a teaspoon is 5 milliliters and a tablespoon is 15 milliliters. If you forget, always remember that a tea is smaller than a table. So a cup of tea can always fit on a table, but a table can't fit on a cup of tea. So always remember, teacups are smaller, tables are bigger. So teaspoon, tablespoon. And the other tools that we're going to be using today, which you probably don't usually use for pastries, we're going to be using a pizza cutter and or a bench scraper. If you don't have either one of those, you can use a knife. So those are some of the tools that we're using today. We are making this pastry dough, and it's super, super easy to make. It involves only 4 ingredients. But before we get started, we are going to measure out our flour. And I have a measuring cup over here, and this is for solids. And you're going to overfill your measuring cup, give it a bit of a tap, and then level it out. This is called an offset spatula. So we need 2 cups of flour. So I'm measuring that out. 1 cup. No need to sift this. 2 cups. You can also use whole wheat flour if you want to use whole wheat flour. So I've got my 2 cups here. I've got extra flour for a little bit later. There's our 2 cups of flour. And these are the other ingredients that we're going to be using today. Butter. You have to use butter. You can't use margarine for this particular recipe. It just tastes better with butter. There's only 4 ingredients. You don't need a measuring cup for this because on the side here, there is a measuring tool for you. So 1 pound of butter is 2 cups. So if you cut it in half, you have exactly 1 cup of butter. And I've got that over here. And it's at room temperature, so it's soft. So it'll incorporate very, very easily. I have 1 cup, which is also 1 brick of unflavored cream cheese. Use the full fat cream cheese, it makes a difference. And I have a 1/3 of a cup of sour cream. That's it for our recipe. Before we get started with the recipe, I should tell you a little bit about where Rugelach came from. So Rugelach originated in the Jewish communities of Poland, and in Yiddish it means little twists. It's most commonly eaten with people by people with very good taste. The origins of Rugelach probably came back from the Jewish pastries or different pastries from different European regions like Hungary or Austria or Poland or Germany. So in Hungary they have something kind of similar. It's called kifli, and it's sort of rolled the same way like a cone. They also have Austrian kiffel, they have Polish Rugelach, and they also have something in Germany called a Schnecken. And Schnecken is more like a cinnamon roll, but it's rolled very, very similar. Schnecken means snail in German. These are all going to be crescent shaped, and they're going to be filled. You can fill them with jam, poppy seeds, different nut pastes, cinnamon sugar. So we're going to be using cinnamon sugar. That's the easiest one to fill. And then jam is a little, not necessarily more complicated, but it's a little bit messier. Many Hungarians and Polish Jews, when they moved to Israel, they decided to bring all of these different pastries with them, and this is actually one of the #1 pastries in Israel. So, let's get started. You could do this in a bowl with strong arms and a wooden spoon, but if you happen to have a food processor, use the food processor. It comes together super easy. So, in the bowl, my food processor, plug it in. What you want to do is you want to take your butter for the food processor. And your cream cheese. And I'm just gonna take it and break it apart in a couple pieces. And I'm gonna cream this together, step one. And you wanna emulsify. Emulsification is when two things that don't normally come together come together. So excuse the noise for a second. You want this to cream itself all together and emulsify. So I'm going to tip it towards you so you can see that's what it looks like. Okay? Everything looks the same. I'm going to put my sour cream in next. Blend that up. And I'm using salted butter. You could use unsalted butter. If you're using unsalted butter, just put a pinch of salt in it. And then the last thing I'm going to put in is my flour. And this dough is so beautiful, very easy to work with. In a mixer that's this size, I wouldn't make a double batch, it would stress the mixer out. On high. Do it till it comes together. Can you hear this? Can you hear that? That's done. So simple to make.
You don't scrape down the stuff.
I'm going to scrape, I'm going to just knead it just for a second. Sort of cleans itself anyway. I'm going to put a little bit of flour on my cutting board. I'm just going to knead it for maybe 30 seconds or so. Be careful. Watch out because you're dealing with a blade here. Get that to the side. Scrape every little bit.
Chef, Lori wants to know, if you don't have a food processor, can you use a stand mixer?
You can use a stand mixer, sure you could, not a problem. And if I'm using a stand mixer, I would use the paddle attachment. Don't use the whip, everything gets caught in the whip, and don't use the dough hook, because everything gets caught in the dough hook as well. Excuse me. I'm gonna flour my hands a little bit. And I'm just gonna knead it just for maybe 10 kneads. Just so it's not sticky. So there's two different things that you could do with this. You could take this, cut this in four, chill it and put it in the fridge and then roll it out. Let me show you. You can actually roll it out from using it right now. There we go. Just gonna stick this to the side. I'm gonna clean my cutting board off, and this is what my bench scraper is used for. To clean the cutting board off. Clean as you go. So what I'm going to do with this, a little bit more flour. I'm going to cut this into four. I'm going to put 3 of these aside. I'm going to show you how to roll it out now, just like this. I'm just going to take this and make it into a disc. So see how I'm rolling my hands around? Make it into a disc. I'm going to make sure it's floured on the top and bottom. I'm going to take a rolling pin. I'm going to flour my rolling pin. And in order to flour a rolling pin, this is how I do it. Flour, like this. And what I want to do is I want to do an X marks the spot. So an X, just like that. You have to be gentle. Because this dough is so soft, you want to do this very, very gently. Otherwise, it's going to smush everywhere. I'm using a rolling pin like this. You can use a regular rolling pin if you want to. But just gently, back and forth. And I'm going to keep it moving. Make sure there's lots of flour, back and forth. So it doesn't stick. And I'm looking for a circle. And don't worry about what this looks like for now. And you can make these teeny tiny, you can make them really, really big. The smaller they are, the more you can eat, but the quicker they dry out. The bigger they are, the longer they take to bake, the less you can eat, but they're pretty tasty. So what I'm looking for, my hands are average size, about 2 hands by about 1.5 hands. If you don't want to do it like that, the size of a nice big dinner plate, what mom and dad serves dinner on. So now that we have this, we have to think about what we're going to put as a filling. You can do sweet fillings, you can do savory fillings. Traditionally, they only do sweet fillings. I'm going to show you the easiest filling to make. Sugar, whether it's brown sugar or white sugar, demerara sugar, rock sugar, so those are the big sugar. This one here is a dark brown sugar and cinnamon. Easy, easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my pizza cutter. And I'm going to cut it in half. And I cut it in half again. So see how I made 4? Now what I want to do is I want to cut this, each one into thirds. So if it sticks, roll this. And some of them are going to turn out a little bit bigger, some of them are going to turn out a little bit smaller. They're handmade by you. That's the beauty of them. So this one here we did into 12. I'll do the next one a little bit differently. I need a parchment lined cookie sheet. You have to have, this is actually a jelly roll pan. So a jelly roll pan has the sides on it. Cookie sheets don't have the sides on them. But you need parchment paper. You can't do this on tin foil and you can't do this on wax paper because wax paper will melt and it tastes like a melted Barbie dough on the bottom of your cookies. That's gross. So put at the bottom of your pan here. If you like lots of cinnamon, add lots of cinnamon. If you add like less, put less. I want these to taste like cinnamon. So sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle away. Brown sugar. So when I'm doing the brown sugar, what I want to do is I don't want to go quite into the center. And if your brown sugar sits out overnight, it gets a little bit hard as well. Sometimes it's a little bit easier to deal with. You can use white sugar. Just going all the way around. I'm not going to the center, and you'll see why in a minute. As much or as little as you want. Fill it up as much as you possibly can. Now what we're going to do is we're going to roll them. So I'm going to show you how we roll them. And these are really tender because they haven't rested and they haven't chilled. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll them, put them on the cookie sheet, then put them in the fridge to chill. Preheat the oven, and then bake them. The other way, I've already got some chilling. We can roll out the chilled dough, put the chilled dough on the baking sheets and bake them right away.
Chef,
Yes.
Jana wants to know if you can use a Silpat baking sheet instead of parchment paper.
Absolutely perfect. Fantastic. And you can reuse those over and over again. And if you don't have a silk hat, buy them. They're wonderful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll this up. So I'm rolling the big part towards the little part. So see how I've separated out a bit? It's a little bit easier for you to see. Oh, I cut that off. So you can see what I'm doing? I'm going to roll it up, and you're going to use all your fingers when you're doing this. So watch how my fingers are just rolling, and this is very, very tender. Roll it, roll it, roll it. This is one of my mom's favorite pastries, and I would put in raisins in here for her. I'm going to take this little end, and I'm just going to pinch it like this, and just put it like that. Make it a little bit thinner. You want to put it, the tip down like this. Start again. Try not to get that flour in there. I made a batch a couple days ago and I put a little bit of flour in there by mistake. And that makes a difference. You don't want them doughy. Keep on going. Flatten out. Oops. Put it down like that. And then as you're doing this, you'll get better and better. flatten out that bottom a little bit. You don't want them really touching. For some reason, these ones took a little bit longer to bake than the jam-filled one. Make sure your oven is preheated. If your oven isn't preheated and you put in pastries, what happens is the pastry decides to, all of the butter will come out and you'll have greasy pastries. So once you do a couple of them, you'll see how easy it is. You can freeze these and you can bake them from frozen. There is no sugar in the pastry, so you could use this for something savory if you wanted to. So you see how I have a little bit of flour here? I don't want to put that flour into my pastry. You can't just eat one, trust me. With a glass of milk, these are perfect.
Chef, after these have baked, can you freeze them?
I would freeze them before because they dry out, they're small. So I would bake them, I would eat them. That's what I would do with them. I would freeze them before you bake them. You can even do, eventually when we don't have the social distancing, if you have a friend come over on the weekend, you can even pop them in the toaster oven. Just make sure your toaster oven is preheated. So if you just want to do one or two, you can do one or two.
These would be a great treat for Mother's Day.
They would. So make them today, hide them in your bedroom, and then wrap them up for Mom. Just kidding.
Helena, Lindsay wants to know, if you're chilling the dough before you roll it, how
Yes.
long do you chill it for?
At least a half an hour up to 2 days.
So the dough will keep in the refrigerator for 2 days, then you can roll it out and bake it off. You could make the dough today and then bake it for Mother's Day.
You can. The dough will keep for about a week in the fridge.
Wrapped in plastic wrap?
Yes. So that's our first batch over here. Just gonna clean up. And this here is an unchilled dough. So you saw how soft that was. Just gonna clean up a little bit. Maybe I'll flip my cutting board over. There we go. I'll show you what a chilled dough looks like. In the fridge. That's a chilled dough. So listen to this. Much harder. So it's not necessarily more difficult to work with, but it's going to crack a little bit. With the other dough, what I do, this is what I do.
Chef,
Yes.
Nancy realized she doesn't have any sour cream. Is there a substitution, or should she just wait till she has the sour cream?
I think the sour cream is what makes this dough very, very tender. I think what you could substitute for it.
Yogurt?
But if you're going to use yogurt, I would use a full fat Greek yogurt or a strained yogurt. So this is what I'm going to do. This is that dough that we just made. That's a quarter of the dough. So you see the difference? See how soft that dough is? This one's much firmer. So that's what I would do with the rest of this dough. Now, with this one here, you'll see it's a little bit more crumbly. A little bit of flour down. Unwrap it.
How long has that been in the refrigerator?
This was in the refrigerator 24 hours. I made this yesterday. And the great thing about this dough is there's so much fat in the dough, you really can't over knead the dough. So, see how that one's a little bit firmer? Flour. Flour both sides. Remember what I said about X marking the spot? Same thing again. And this one we're going to do jam on. So, X marks the spot. I'm going to give this a bit of a wiggle and a wiggle. This way I know where center is. So, you're going to use a little bit more pressure when you're doing this. See how it's a little bit firmer? And you see how the dough is cracking a little bit? Don't worry about those cracks. Even pressure. Now I've got a hole in the middle of the dough. I'll show you how to fix that. No one's going to ever know. This is live. So I'm going to show you how to fix this. And keep it rotating. And I want to make it the same thickness. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the dough and just pinch it together. Just push it and pinch it together. No one's gonna ever know. So now, instead of making it into 12, I think we should maybe make this a little bit different. So what I'm gonna do is I'm still gonna cut this in half. I'm gonna cut this in half again. Instead of making it to 12, I think we should make these into 8. You'll see how much bigger they are. You see how different the dough is? So now I'm gonna think about what filling I'm gonna put in. So at home I would use jams, jellies, Nutella is delicious. I have a little bit of blackberry jam that I'm gonna be using. This is way messier than this. So do you see that there are 2 different sizes? So this one's gonna be a small size, these are gonna be a bigger size, so you're gonna obviously cook at 2 different rates. So, thank you, Angie. Parchment lined baking sheet. Jam. Try not to get into the center, and this is gonna be once again messier. Give a bit of a smear. Whatever you happen to have left over. This is a good way to use up those little bits of jams and jellies. If you want to do the savory, you can put pesto in. You could put sun-dried tomato. You can put tapenade in there.
Cheese, would cheese work?
Cheese would be delicious. Traditionally, they never put in cheese in here. It's always something sweet. I was talking to my best friend yesterday, and he had a request. I think he likes the cinnamon sugar. So I think that's what I'll be making in the next couple of days or so. So, same thing. I'm going to be rolling this up. And the reason why I didn't put all the ends because they're going to go out anyway. So, roll it up, just like that. So these ones are way bigger, as you can see. So there's the difference in size. 1 bite, 2 bites. I'm going to roll these up. And while I'm rolling these up, what do you guys want to learn how to make next week? Let me know. I'm taking requests. It can be anything. It goes down. You could, if you want to, put a little bit of egg glaze on top, and an egg glaze is just an egg yolk or a whole egg beaten up with a little bit of water and brushed on with a pastry brush. Some people will even put a little bit of cinnamon sugar on top, or sugar on top, a little bit of water, and then put some sugar.
So Chef, for some people who joined us late, the full recipe is on the event page at the Well Seasoned Facebook and on the Well Seasoned website.
Yes.
And you'll be able to watch this video again later from the beginning.
Yes.
So, Ben wants to know, do you use the dough that's not frozen? Is it better? Can you freeze the dough?
You can freeze the dough. It freezes beautifully, yes. What you want to do is go to 24 hours. You want to put it into the fridge to defrost. Don't leave it on the counter because we're going to have a warm weekend this weekend. You want to make sure that you're using chilled dough. You can't roll it out frozen. So that's what that looks like. I'm going to show you what a finished product looks like. So when I baked this yesterday in my own personal oven, it took me, even though I put on 12 to 15 minutes, this one here, so this is our finished product. We have the ones here with the jam in the middle, and this one here has the cinnamon sugar. If you want to jazz this up a bit, excuse me. You can put a little bit of icing sugar on top. So this is just a little bit of decoration. You can go into your garden, get a beautiful flower, put that on the side as well. Make sure it's an edible flower. A little bit of icing sugar. Look how pretty that looks. It's a really beautiful, lovely for afternoon tea, for Mother's Day. Just make her a cup of tea, and I'm sure she'll be very happy with that. And once again, this is what it looks like. So you're looking for the, in the end, to be a golden brown, like the color of toast. So yummy and delicious. This one here, this is the jam that sort of oozes out a little bit. I love that little jam bit. And this is the caramelized brown sugar and cinnamon. They're both delicious. I don't know which one I would like better. I'll probably have both of them once the TV gets turned off anyway. They're super tasty. So any requests or any questions that you have, we have a couple minutes left. Ask the questions so I can answer them for you. I will also be on later on answering some questions, so if you have any questions to ask, I'd be more than happy to answer them.
Ben wants to know if it's better to use frozen dough or fresh dough.
I think it's better to use fresh dough that's chilled for at least a half an hour. Once again, I said you can chill it for up to 24 hours. You can even chill it for up to a week. How do you know if the dough has gone bad? Someone asked me that once. If you see little specks in there, it looks like black pepper, and you didn't put black pepper in the dough. You know it's gone bad. So you don't want to be using dough that's gone bad. So if in doubt, leave a rule in the kitchen, throw it out. These are just very simple to make. I mean, they take no time at all. When you go to the grocery store, some stores will sell these, and these, each one is $2 each. So it does not take a lot of money to make all of these. So you can make between 24 and 48 of these little bites, and it'll cost you really next to nothing. We've only got 4 ingredients, and like I said before, we're using salted butter, not unsalted butter. Don't use margarine. That being said, if you are keeping kosher and you're serving this, you want to, you can use the margarine, but I find that margarine will seep out because there's so much moisture in the margarine. I usually have to add a little bit more flour. So in the end, I probably added maybe not even a quarter cup more flour when I was rolling it out and when I was kneading it. And it doesn't take very long to knead. I've tried to make ginormous ones and they just never bake properly in the middle, like a nice big one, but they don't bake it properly. So maybe about 18 minutes for this one, maybe about 20 minutes for this one. So they take just a little bit longer. Any other questions that anyone has?
Just a few requests, but we'll
Yes.
check them out over on Facebook when this is done. So thanks for coming in today, Chef. I
Thank
mean,
you very much.
this is a fun recipe you can recreate for Mother's Day. And yeah, we'll see you again next Wednesday, hopefully. Same time, same place.
Thank you very much, guys, for coming in. And before I let you guys go, I don't even know if I told you what these are called. These are called Rugelach or Rugelach. These are not arugula, and arugula is the plant, is a spicy sort of peppery lettuce that you would eat in a salad. These are sweet, tasty treats. So this is rugula or rugelach, and the green is called arugula. I had someone ask me that just recently. What's the difference? Big difference. These are tastier. Bye, guys. Have a good week. Happy Mother's Day to everybody. Bye-bye.